Hmm. So we are trying to understand how the five sheet or the coverings creates a veil over the real self. Our goal is to discover that real self and live into that state all the time. So I have two simple stories to make you aware, and that is also an alarming sign to alarm to Sam, who has started learning Hatha Yoga. So one guy got deeply interested into the Hatha Yoga and he started doing Hatha Yoga for 10 to 15 years. Huh? First, she's become very beautiful every day. He wakes up, he finds himself full of energy, but the mind did not change because mind will not change without any knowledge. So the mind kept all the desires and the cravings. The mind was totally obsessed with the pleasure outside. Unfortunately, he died at the age of 150 years because if you are doing something physical, so your aging process is delayed, and which is very common. And he was doing yoga, so he went to heaven. And heaven is full of pleasures. Normally the depiction of heaven is that you have a river of vodka all the time. You have the beautiful girls for seeking the pleasure. Huh? That is the depiction of the heaven in almost all the religions. So he went at the door and guard invited him. No, you have done yoga, so most welcome to heaven. See, I'm criticizing my own profession. But we should have a right knowledge. So, so another assistant, public relation department to the heaven said, "Let me take you to a tour to the heaven." So here is a river of vodka. Anesthesia is very, maybe very much aware. We are also aware of vodka here in US. So and then he went. He took him to lot of all kinds of pleasure, women or men, whatever you want to say. So he sat down after the tour and started crying. Climax is yet to come. so, so the public relation officer said, "Why you are crying?" I cursed that Hatha Yoga teacher because he asked me to do all these practices. That is why I lived for 150 years on the earth in the hell. I should have come much earlier so that I should have enjoyed everything, all kinds of pleasures. Hello. I no, we don't talk of the packs, we talk of the beauty, figure, and you see, I've been doing yoga for how many years? 20 years. That is why we need a knowledge. Every master says that we need a knowledge to understand where the mind is going. The third sheet and the fourth sheet created a wrong notion about who am I. And every time You go out, you say, how handsome and beautiful I am. But the mind did not change. That is why we are understanding there's five sheets. We have to remove the veil. When I go deep into the meditation, I'm reading as it is. I got an email. When I go deep into the meditation, more the suffering inflicted on me. Is it possible? I meditated and my mind absorbs your knowledge. I'm not telling the name, it's okay. And the mind goes into the higher plane, or as if he understands the mind goes into the higher plane, and that higher plane inflicts injury to him. You see what happens due to misunderstanding. But the suffering I'm going through is so much. Where did I go wrong? Consciousness should let me live in peace and happiness. What the consciousness has done to you? Why the consciousness will be chasing you and creating an injury on you? Are you understanding? Sir, I'm his head. What is your appraisal of me? Fact is that you are crazy. But can I say you are crazy? No. Problem is this. You can you can understand my situation. And then he writes, am I a seeker or not? Why the consciousness going against me and punishing me? You all have understood that. But now I'm just I'm reading as it is. Why the consciousness going against me and punishing me when I have meditated so much? My mind ingrains all your knowledge. So now I'm also responsible. I'm also responsible for it. Consciousness should help and create conducive environment for me to awaken, or it is hell bent on finishing me. This is what happens when we do not get the right knowledge. So when I wrote, the consciousness has nothing to do anything to you. Consciousness cannot go against anyone. Are you clear? He wrote me back, don't be angry over me. Aha. We are always in a very interesting situation. We take it easily. So then I said it is better not to respond. And it is caused by the ignorance of the five sheep. Two examples. One is the mind is constantly seeking, wanting, obsessed that peace and happiness is outside. And that is why I curse the teacher, Hatha Yoga teacher, because you did not allow me to go to heaven earlier, because I stayed on the earth by doing the Hatha Yoga practices. My aging process was delayed and I died at the age of 150. I should have died at the age of 50 to go to heaven and enjoy all the stuff, or enjoy all the pleasures. So this is what you are seeking. It will not work. We do not understand. It is ignorance. And the second I have already written is a real life experience. Can you think of my plight that I receive almost 40, 50 emails? Because you are not a seeker, you are not ready to listen, you want to continue with your obsession, and that is the ignorance. The purpose of these five sheets is to understand clearly that none of these five sheets is me. It is mine. It belongs to me. I have to use it. A car is there, phone is there, TV is there, and etc. I have to use it. But it doesn't mean that it is me. So if we miss the discernment, if we miss the viveka, discernment is first and dispassion is second. Then you do the practices of meditation even for 50 years, nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to. I told the story to the Sam that one lady officer was there when I joined my federal government job. So she also used to taunt me. I have 10 years of experience. So I waited for 5 years because I was going to my master's. So my master was giving me that understanding. So after 15 years, I told her that you have only 1 year experience is repeated 15 years. Repeated you 14 years. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm just going, close my eyes. I do meditation. I do meditation, and then it is not going to happen. It is not going to bring any result. Discernment and dispassion is required. If there is no discernment, no dispassion, nothing is going to happen. Honey, don't disturb me. I'm going for a meditation. So 2 hours of meditation. Once I return, I become the same person because I do not understand these five coverings. I'm giving you some ideas. The moment you say why the consciousness is inflicting injury on me, you are already in delusion. To remove the delusion, you need a knowledge. No practice will work. You have to understand. And that is why I covered one topic in a very briefly way. A seeker who is not a miser. Huh? I'm a miser, then mind will take, mind will punish me. My own mind will punish me. My own mind is not able to understand, and still I am sticking to the same old thought pattern. Nothing is going to happen. That is why our master says, continue, journey has to continue. Understanding all these principles. I told you, simple way. Look at this five sheet, how it is working. I see you. Physical sheet, food sheet, but it demands some consciousness force or energy. That is the second sheet. I need a desire to see you. That is the mental sheet. I should take a decision. That is the intellect. And the I-ness. I enjoy seeing you. I'm happy seeing you. From where it comes? Comes from the fifth sheet. But what is the ignorance here? I see you and I'm happy. Remember this, and you have to contemplate every day that I see you, that you are different from me. Fact is that you are not different and separate. That comes from the fifth sheet. You got it? Yes, yes, I got it. Say yes, even if you don't get it, so you can listen to it again and contemplate it. So now he's asking me a question: am I a seeker or not? You are always a seeker. From one point of view, you are always a seeker because you are seeking peace and happiness. But according to the Eastern wisdom, we need certain qualities that must be met if we want to learn this journey. I'll talk about it. After the fifth kosha, we stuck to the fifth kosha. I just told you. I'm happy seeing you. We normally say in not happy seeing you. I'm very pleased to meet you. You should be pleased to meet your real self. But it doesn't mean that you stop saying this. That will be another problem. I have already explained from the real life example. It is it is very interesting, and the more and more you understand who you are. So now let me continue explaining about the fifth sheath. We stuck at the fifth sheath, and it causes a deep delusion. Oh, what kind of a teacher you? That's not required. I'm maybe crazy. I may be a bad teacher. Who cares? Question is where you stand. What is your goal? Is your goal is to discover a teacher, or is your goal is to discover your real self? And then I become angry if I respond to the email. Then I create an image, and then I will return after 2 years. So what kind of a this is what puts you into such a delusion that you are so close to the real self and still you miss it. That is why we say master and a seeker tradition. This is a master and a disciple tradition. That is why I say I lived with my mentor for 26 years. It doesn't go so easily. No, no, I have to spend 26 years. I have a lot of things to do. Do it. What you do, you are doing it out of ignorance. Think of it. No, I'm very busy. Yes, remain busy. Some people say, I don't have money. I could, you, okay, no money. But the real people return. Now I have the money. You see, I'm ready to spare. I'm not telling the name. So, coming back, another level of ignorance, the real self. What is the meaning of saying all this? The real self cannot be objectified. The moment you objectify it, it creates the false I. Both the stories applies there. That is, did you understand that? Why I have understood and still I'm saying the consciousness is inflicting injury on me because I'm living with the false I. That does not want to leave me, or I am very dear to the false I. That is another way to put it, that that the real self cannot be objectified. If I'm aware of it, I'm free from these five sheaths. What is that meaning? Objectification. There are two things. One is known. I know the mouse. It is known. It is an object. I know it, but I'm not the mouse. I have told you many a times. Now, instead of a mouse, now you make a statement. I am stressed, coming from the false ego. That you know who is in stress is an object. It is not a subject. You instantly separate yourself and you are there. But it does not happen. so easily. If you are not a seeker, it will never happen. But then I contradicted that we all are seekers. Are you getting it? There's a very subtle movement of the knowledge. Subtle movement of the knowledge. We all are seekers. Question is, did I follow the right path? I'm a seeker. I want peace and happiness. I objectified my peace and happiness outside. I'm living with the false ego. The false ego will inflict a lot of injuries. Oh, he has only a small injury. People inflict millions of injuries on themselves. And my famous friend, you already know, Bill Gates, 27 years of loveless life. We claim we are a knower, and that is the false side. That mistake we do it. It comes from the fifth sheet, and there the problem comes. I gave you a couple of examples. Why don't you understand? I cannot speak anything, but I'm speaking. Fifth level of ignorance. We should be very clear in the field of our awareness that the real self cannot be known by the mind as an object. The way I know the mouse, I cannot know the real self. This is the meaning. Knower cannot be known by the mind. We experience our seeing ability in the same way we just need to experience our knowing ability, keeping the mind calm and silent, keeping the mind calm and silent. In that silent awareness, real self dawns. The way the sun knows the sun by itself. Senses in the mind are not required to know the real self. That is why we talk of emptiness. That is why we talk of emptiness and the silence. There is no other reason. Or can I say in a different way? The language is not able to express. It is an awareness of awareness. It is a consciousness of consciousness. Nothing else is required to experience our awareness or to become aware of our awareness. Then those who are non-seekers, they say, oh, define awareness and consciousness. Are they different? No. Forget about the difference. That awareness of the awareness is the sun is knowing the sun by itself. Follow the tradition first. See where you have reached. If you have a doubt, obviously, the doubt removal tools are there. We have 1 million doubt removal tools. But if you get obsessed with only one thing, false sight, these two examples fits. Food sheath, all matter, complex matter. Energy sheath, all functioning of the systems. See, that's simple. All functioning of the systems. Mental sheath, all mind, senses, motor organs with the thoughts and feelings and emotions. Intellectual sheath, I-ness is there, and the ignorance or the pleasure sheath, all pleasures. I'm happy to meet you. Whether I say I'm happy to meet you or whether you say unhappy to meet you, it comes from the same fifth sheath. There is no difference at all, to tell you frankly. There is no difference at all. Because expression is coming from the intellect, the false I, and the mind. So, do you remember the operating principles by which we remove the ignorance? Maintain your awareness throughout the day. I am unchanging. Five sheets are changing. Five sheets are object of experience. I am the knower. I am a subject. I am the knower. Five sheets are known. Third operating principle, five sheets are product of karma, efficient cause. I exist before, during, and after. I told you, we celebrate our birthday. Today is 18th April. You existed before the 18th of April in the womb of a mother. Is it not true? Go back to the 9 months. You cannot produce anything out of nothing. It means you existed before. Body did not exist. Are you getting it? So five sheets are product of the karma. We will take up later. I existed before. I exist now. I will also exist after. Who is this I? Real self, not the body. I am conscious. Five sheets are not conscious. They are matter. Five sheets are part, product, and properties of a matter, but I am one pure consciousness. You are already there. This week, sit calmly anywhere, even for 5 minutes. Think about the first sheet, food sheet, height, food sheet, height, weight, place of birth, name of parents, complexion, color of eyes, color of hair, etc., etc. Recognize their traits of the first sheet and ask yourself, are you your height? No. Am I my weight? No. Am I place of my birth? No. You will find the answer big no to every traits and qualities. I am beautiful. What to whom you are saying? To the body, matter. No, you all are beautiful, but I'm saying this, explore that. Same with the energy sheet. Body temperature. I'm not the body temperature, pulse rate, blood flow, sugar level. I'm not saying, but you see, none of them have. And the mental sheet, skills and the knowledge, anger, jealousy, arrogance, desire, greed, fear, seeking pleasure, likes and dislikes. The moment the mind brings all these things, I'm none of them. It is the property, trait, expression of the mental sheet. Then the intellectual sheet, I-ness. I am depressed. So you are talking about the false I that is depressed because you know. So what you know is not you. What you know by the mind is not you. That is false I. We are talking of that subtle I that continues to work. The way this, my friend wrote me back, don't be angry. So you change your topic. Now, how should I reply? Tell me. We are in a very difficult situation. And the last one, the Anandamaya Kosha, the situation that gives me a sense of pleasure by seeing others. It means I always see the world as different from me. There is a duality that I see because of the fifth sheet. Even if I'm happy, even if I'm unhappy, doesn't matter. It is all I am in ignorance. Going beyond the five sheets, inside my head in the practice of meditation awakens you to the real self. But if that wisdom is not there, that knowledge is not there, then you curse the Hatha Yoga teacher because he helped you to live for 150 years. You should have gone earlier to heaven to enjoy all pleasures. River of vodka, women pleasure, big mansion. Uh, so heaven chief has given you a permission to enter into the heaven because you did Hatha Yoga. You did something good. But even that good doesn't work. With that goodness, we create a bigger I, false I, than the smaller. Ah, yes, close your eyes. Let us start our journey.